Hello, Summoners. Nightwolfmenace here with a Grand Summoners Community Podcast video. This video was taken from community member BuiBui's Twitch livestream, and it featured him, community member OxyDelerim, community member Borry, and myself. We just decided to get together and talk about the game, what to expect from the recent update, and what we'd like to see going forward. If you want to partake in these podcasts, feel free to join the Grand Summoners Discord and just jump right in. We especially want newer players to hop in and provide us with feedback, basically your thoughts, concerns with the game moving forward. Anyways, I'm going to let the video play out. If you enjoyed, let us know down in the comments section, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
For the maintenance, right? So today, we're going to get, well, it's going to start from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so for you guys it'll wait a lot longer in the East Coast. So we're getting part 2 of story, which means more gems, right? Borry?
Yeah, you're gonna be getting more gems, just like the normal story. You're gonna get like 1 for completion. It's gonna require specific things. Might require specific units. You know, just the same thing as the normal story.
And then we're gonna get double XP and half energy. So for new players, you wanna spam the shit out of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
well, not really, because story doesn't give a lot of XP. But like, if you've never cleared story before and you're too lazy or something, I don't know why you wouldn't. You should definitely start run through it this time because finish it super quick.
That last mission gave off a lot of XP for little energy. The last time we had double XP, the very last, the second to last one, it gave 898.
The final boss.
Yeah, second to the last one, just before that, a lot quicker to clear. 2 energy, 2 XP less, and it was a whole lot easier. So I grinded 20 levels off of that one alone.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to add in terms of the main quest, I don't know if you guys have been brainstorming a bit, was for those new players who actually just joined the game, it would actually be a good time to farm Reyes' Regracia a bit. In terms of getting, it doesn't count for side quests.
Yeah, it doesn't count for side quests. I checked last time.
Yeah.
If it counted for side quests, that'd be really good for people. Because Regracia takes a good while to grind. You actually have to put
it does
to it.
I have 2 max limit break ones. I finished yesterday. I wasted 127 pots.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Keep in mind, Borry doesn't leave the game.
Oh god, dude! I fucking hated doing it. Oh, it's so boring because you actually have to pay attention when you're doing it because it has 2 cutscenes in it. Because you have to skip the fucking cutscene or it won't play through.
Oh, okay. So wait, something I don't understand about these maintenance notes is to continue for free on main quest 5 times a day, 5 times day. I'm assuming that says a day. Translation, Google Translate isn't very good for them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you only can do the main storyline 5 quests a day.
Okay.
The new one? I don't know. I never finished the storyline on JP. I never farmed it.
Yeah, I haven't looked at anything JP wise, so I wouldn't know what we're getting next. This is all brand new to me.
So when I started JP, Awakening was already out and stuff, so I was there was no reason to farm the story. I was just spending a little bit of money on the game, and I was like, okay, I don't need to get free gems. I can't read the story. I don't know how to read Japanese, so I never did it.
So yeah, in JP, when you summon, you actually have the highest chance to just get their 5-star form, which is the weirdest thing in my opinion. Because when I went back to it, I got Aristella 5-star, straight off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
it's because it costs so much to wait. You know, so if you take from 1 to 70, and then you have 1 to 60, so 1 to 70, and then 70 to 90.
Yeah. And then so we're getting Attack of the Gold Cat, which is pretty much more money. So
it's gonna be the weekly quest, like the Marocons. You're gonna get your Tazwan keys. Probably gonna be more Gold Cat keys, and I'll probably drop Gold Cats.
Yeah.
So who here actually wastes a lot of Gold Cat keys in a week?
I haven't used any of those.
Me either. I've actually been hoarding them. Like I've been
powerful
hoarding.
events have been given like 30,000 apiece.
Yeah,
Guys.
Yeah, for completion, at least from specs. So
like I know new players right now are actually using gold cat keys to get gold, but I don't see a really point unless like there's
You know how
really
expensive gear is, dude? You know how expensive gear is?
Oh,
yeah,
so-
gear
oh,
is
somebody,
pretty expensive, but I just
Like, I
haven't had
probably
the.
spend 5-10 million gold a day.
oh that's boring.
Oh,
I use my keys constantly. Like, I'll go in an arena and exchange keys, like, all the time.
Oh man.
oh, somebody actually joined our Discord.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, Kuro?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Kuro. That's
Crow's Crow's lurking. Alright,
alerts.
Anyways,
No more alerts.
Okay, so Gold Cat is pretty
And then
much
after that-
just gonna be like what? Okay.
What? Girl spoke for a quick second. So gold cat keys are what you said just now. It's pretty much background noise. It's pretty much ways to get more money or sell more gold cats. Don't gold cats also drop from world bosses?
Gold cats can drop
Yes.
from world bosses, yeah.
World bosses and also the events too. At a
Yeah.
couple that drop.
Lurk.
I think you also get gold cats from the Adventurers Guild.
Oh yeah, you do.
The daily mission.
Yep.
A lot of
sure
people
that-
aren't doing the Adventures Guild, which is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I did those. At least some of them. I haven't done all of them.
It's
but-
really easy to clear though, and that's one of the things that a lot of people also should be taking advantage with the half energy cost as well. Like if there's a specific quest that you need to like complete in order to get like those free Goemon keys, Talmon keys and whatnot, then that
some
should be
starter equipment, unlock some starter equipment up to like 3 stars, as well as the food recipe.
Yeah.
I feel like quite a lot of people don't actually know about the Adventurers Guild. At least the chain quest mission. I will have to find probably on an alt account, see which missions chain into what.
But I know the Adventures Guild, you can do it with while you progress this through the story as a new player.
Yeah.
I know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Not hard whatsoever. Just check every time you finish a chapter, see what they want you to do. Now, the last thing we're getting back is Gilliam, which means Hastia for those that don't have it, and the Hammer, which are both really good.
Boy. Finally.
They're both real good.
Yeah, like I said before, I started playing during the Roy event, so this is an event I completely missed. I'm happy they came back.
On my new main account, I started this when SAR, so it was like at the end of the Roy event.
And I was pretty sad when Ganon recycled as quick as it did. I was just like, why Ganon and not the event that I missed? What happened here?
What happened? Well, at least with this, we know they will bring the event back faster than they did in the start of JP, if I remember correctly.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, which means
I actually could pull it up right now in terms of the Gilliam event. Give me 1 second.
okay.
All right, there we go.
But yeah,
Okay, here we go.
does more story mean more guild quests though?
What do you mean? Like Adventure Guild?
Like Adventure Guild
Yeah,
quests.
like if they're expanding most of the storyline in terms of what I'm reading, then yeah, they should be adding a couple new quests for Adventure Guild. So
So, yeah, what? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna start talking about Gilliam. So Gilliam himself isn't really that strong of a unit, but he's pretty tanky. He just provides a lot.
Yeah, what kind of equipment slots does he have? He has a heal slot 5-star.
He's like Satsuki.
Okay.
Like, pretty much. He qualified more in attacker than anything else.
I have it on stream, by the way. You want to start reading it through?
Yeah, I'll read it through. So Gilliam's skill is 1,450% Earth attribute physical damage. Can you scroll up back to Gilliam?
Yeah.
Wow, they haven't really updated the forum about the Gilliam event, huh?
Yeah.
No. So he does 1,450 Earth attribute physical damage, increases defense value of allies by 3% for 6 seconds. Break force 900. His art is 6,900. Wait, so yeah, 6,900 Earth attribute physical damage, increases equipment damage by 10% for all allies for 9 seconds. Break force is 1,600. He's a farmable unit, which means he's 100 luck. His equipment is a hammer. I forgot the name of. Hastia and Sherhalt. Hastia is a earth healing item, and Sherhalt's defense item that just negates damage. Nothing too special with that. And those just drop from the event, right? And to the enhance it. Do you got for the enhancing these equipment? You require like earth bars that will drop. And that's pretty much it, right? Like the hammer does 500 damage, does 1,000 breaks, and an 80-second cooldown.
Yeah.
Skill.
I'm scrolling down little by little, so it should pop up on the stream shortly.
Yeah, it's popping up. Sherhalt. So real quick, before I start talking about Sherhalt's stats, did you ever use it, BuiBui?
Sherhalt? No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mainly because
Sherhalt's the axe from the Gilliam event, right?
No. That's from Ganon.
No, wait.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Ganon.
Sherhalt is the axe from Ganon. It has a similar name, if I remember correctly.
Sherhalt is the one from is the main weapon for Ganon. The one for Gilliam is Hephaestus, I think. Am I pronouncing it right?
Hephaestus or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're two very different weapons that they use. So.
Yeah. Okay. Since it doesn't really provide anything. All it does is negate damage for a little bit. It's not even that much.
What for Ganon? For Ganon's weapon?
For
Gilliam
defensive item.
Yeah, Gilliam's defensive item.
Sure, yeah. What does it do is cooldown, 80 seconds at base, 70 seconds max limit burst. Effect is reduces all allies' damage taken by 10%, 20% for 8 seconds, and 60 to 100 defense.
Yeah, there's not much. There's not much to it, is there?
Yeah, it's 20% for 8 seconds, which is okay. 20% can be big if you time it right. It's not a negate, so you're still not preventing any damage, but you're mitigating it. So it's okay in an emergency, but they are better items.
Like Veneer Gauntlet, Phantom Shield, Phantom Mask.
Yeah.
Senketsu and Junketsu. Junketsu's better. Sadly, Junketsu was nerfed to hell.
Okay, so one of the things I wanted to bring up, though, sorry to cut you off, but was
go ahead.
Was pretty much like now that Gilliam's coming up as the unit the feature unit right now, like it'll be actually possible to have some diversity in terms of like running like luck lobbies, for example, Ganon having a Sophie, then and Arias. Arias would actually be pretty could fit in with Gilliam too. So although none of them are gonna get the buff that he provides from the healing item that he has.
The Hastia?
Yeah.
No, the Hastia.
Hastia would be good. What kind of heal is that? That's a
500 heal.
Okay, so 1,000 health if the user's earth attribute, their recovery increase. So 1,500 heal if the user's earth element. Pretty nice, because it's the only earth elemental heal that gets a bonus on the tree. Think about it. On Valhalla.
That's true. But the heal, last time I checked, the heal only applies to himself. Like if he's using it, everybody gets the max heal. Same with Veneer Crest.
Really? It says like on the effect, at least on the screen, it says it heals all allies. So I thought it was I thought it was a H all allies.
Yeah.
Is it like a special effect for him on the passive?
I think I don't really remember. Keep in mind, I don't have the Hostia anymore or anything like that since my new rerolled account that I'm using on my main. But I think
Either which
shiny...
way, it's like I said, it's still a heal that you could probably put on Valhalla if it does work that way.
Yeah.
With the AOE heal, because it's his best in slot currently.
Yeah.
At least in terms of it being Earth specific.
So I'm still assuming that the Hostia heals everyone to AOE heal. So the shining gem for me in this event would probably be the Hostia. Like as an equipment, just by itself. Because what do we have? We have Claria Health 500 wins in Arena to get that. Not many people play Arena. We got Fenrir Crest, which a lot of people weren't around because a lot of people joined Kill event. And what's another AOE heal item? Force Credos that only really works with light units unless you're trying to take away any burns or anything, any status effects.
I don't think Force Corrados has a bonus to what you call it.
It's the only reason you should.
Pick element. I think it's just it just heals for like small amount, but cures multiple status elements depending on how much you level up by.
Yeah, the whole reason you use Force Kratos is just for the I think it's 250 heal to all, and it gets rid of the 3 ailments like curse, beat, stun, I think, or something.
Okay.
Which is
Burn, curse, poison, disease. I think it did.
No, I can't. I know it's fear. It's burn. It's curse. It's curse, burn, fear. That's what it is. Curse, burn, fear.
So this is pretty much the same as any 100 luck unit that we've gotten. Just farm it if you don't have it. Farm it for Alk Stones because Alk Stone farming is a thing, but it's not the most viable thing to do. But if you have free time, like
it's a free play.
Yeah, since we're free to play, yeah. But like, look at Nightwolf and BuiBui here. They don't have to worry about that shit.
Oh man! Well,
just throw some money my way.
Well,
That's what you should do.
Well, not to be biased and everything, but for the most part, if you do start farming for those Outstones, for those extra drops, well, I think the currency right now, if you sell them, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you max limit break like a certain like item that's already farmed and whatnot, I think you get the same amount of Outstones, whereas if you like just sell the duplicate item, like just the same amount. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. Why would you waste your gold doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey man, like for me, that's what I've done like in the beginning as well, because I was like, when I first was farming Ganon, I remember like I started like max limit breaking everything. I'm like, oh hey, just 2 Outstones a piece. I'm like, all right, cool. Why not just do that? And then I just realized that, oh, it's giving me the same amount. Like all I did was just burn like what, 100k, 150k for just to max limit break it. And I was like, oh wow, that was a waste of gold. So hopefully people don't make the same mistake as I did in the beginning. So just a heads up.
Yeah. So pretty much you want to get the Hostia from this one. The hammer is really good. Gilliam's buffs are actually, I think, underrated now I start thinking about it. Increased the item damage. Mm-hmm. So put that with a Bleak, a Scissor Blade would be pretty strong.
Okay, yeah, so
he's the only one that doesn't until Fen comes out, and Fen will be his replacement.
Yeah. Okay, so for the viewers out there, so what would be the order on actually trying to farm which equips, like, and max limit breaking them and everything?
It depends what you like don't have. Like the heal's okay for a 5-star. The boots are okay for a 4-star.
I say the boots are like Satsuki right now. They're good, but not necessarily needed. Then again,
just
Satsuki actually does
20%.
something.
Aren't they the physical?
Yeah, and
Two?
from my personal order, like I said, it all depends on what you have. Because if you don't have an Earth healer or Earth unit that can use a heal slot, a 5-star heal slot, then obviously it's not useful for you. Whereas the Earth Hammer overall can be useful for you, depending on who you're fighting. Like there's a rock boss taking more Earth damage, you know. So overall, it would be the Earth Hammer first. Just because it's more universally useful, because most attackers in the game can use a 5-star attack slot, you know? Whereas you're not going to get the extra benefit from the heal slot, at least the bonus, because they are better unless your healer is, well, the person's using it is Earth Elemental. So in that case, Valhalla, if you have one and you have it max LB, by all means, get that. Yeah, that should be your priority. If not, then focus on the weapon and then the boot.
Okay. Can any arguments be made? Qwerty brought up a good point that Hostia would be probably first, and then the hammer, then boots would probably be last.
The reason I say, oh wait, go first, Borry.
I would say boots first, especially if you don't have Fender, because for 4-star, like 20%, I thought it was physical damage. It's for all damage types.
Exactly.
So I think it's better than the hammer and the haste because you remember hammer's 80-second cooldown. Or like if you get a gotcha 5-star weapon or something, it's better than the hammer. Base anyways, and then 80 seconds is a long fucking time. Like you should just have a Gracia zone if you're gonna do something like that. And then like Hastia, like you were saying, like it's just for Earth. Like it's good because it's what is it like 1,000 or something?
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, 1,000 with the bonus of 500 if the user's Earth. Well,
so the thing with the boots for me, I think it's suffered the same as Junketsu, because Junketsu only the flex 400 negates 400 damage and it's on like a 60-second cooldown. Same with the boots, it's on a 70-second cooldown for 20% lesser damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Its downside is its massive cooldown.
Yeah.
But like I said, for emergency purposes and as a free 4-star item that you can get, it's pretty good.
Yeah, because like the only other 4-star that's worth putting on, like anything, like in arguably defense-wise, period, is Fenrir, and then like 3-star is the fucking light shield. I forget the name of it. Like it's 10%.
Oh, Paladin shield? Oh no.
No, not Paladin. Something else. It's for all allies. Like 20% is good because like you can't always equip a 5-star like defense on everything.
Exactly.
Like,
that's true.
Dedicated 4-star. So I think it's good. I like it.
Okay, so TLDR. So basically, we can all agree though that it will all depend on pretty much like what is it that you're actually looking for, or is it pretty much just try to go for the boots mainly because of its utility?
I say what Nightwolf said. Like what you require, go for.
Like I said, I guess the boots would be more universally useful for everybody. In case of what they already have, if you're a new player, I recommend going for the boots first, rather than the weapon in Hastia. But if not, if you already have stuff better, then Hastia will probably be your best bet, depending on, like I said, if you have Valhalla or not.
Well, if you're a new player too, you should just get all 3 and get Gilliam and just run all 3 equips on Gilliam, so that way you can start lobbies.
We're saying focus, but at the end of the day, everybody's gonna end up with 100, or should end up with 100 like Gilliam.
Okay. All right. So moving down, on the screen, we have the different amounts. Yep.
Okay.
So my thing I'm gonna bring up is I know a lot of people are pretty much have a hard on running specs, but is there any benefit to actually run EX2, for example, or even EX?
So,
the only benefit that there is for the like versus specs and EX and such is for like Ganon events where EX1, because it's a lower tier 1, has a higher chance to drop lower tier things. So it had a higher chance to drop the evolved materials, which is why people farmed EX1. But like for this, it's just going to be specs, because you're going to be able to luck farm with the 4 muck units, like with Gannons and Sophies and such. And everybody, like, if you've been playing for a few weeks now, you should all have a Sophie.
That is true. But my thing is, if you're farming and you're a new player, you're most likely going to end up farming EX2 and EX1. Because if you keep on running specs with randoms and you keep on dying, it's not worth wasting your time doing that.
No.
So if you can just join randoms and EX2 or EX1 to farm, that'd be greater for you.
The only reason you should do anything lower is because of that, and you should only do EX2 because EX1 doesn't drop the evolved materials or limit break.
That's true.
Let's see. All right.
But I do want to state this. This one actually drops cheese consistently, because Kill hasn't dropped cheese for shit. Who here has actually gotten consistently cheese?
Oh my god!
Yeah, I barely am running out of Earth.
Probably like maybe 1 every 5 runs or so.
Like it's
I'm
insane.
running out of Earth cheese, so
I get more of the.
See some Earth cheese is actually coming here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But during this time, there was a hero fest when we first got it, if you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
Roy and Lise.
Yeah, that was Roy and Lise. I was able to summon on that banner. I just didn't have time to farm it. I'm sad.
Nah, we'll start laughing and get suppressed.
Alright.
I feel sorry. Kill units is the new mirror for cheese. Oh yeah, Miro didn't really drop cheese as well. Didn't really drop plain cheese.
Yeah, like they advertised Kill that it was going to drop all the cheeses, right? And like I go into it, and that's what I was going to. I didn't. I was just going to get the equipment. I knew like when I was playing, like the first one I did, I was like, well, this is going to be easy. I'm going to be done in a few hours. I was like, sweet. I'm going to be able to get my cheeses up because I'm out of all the food. And I'm like playing and playing. It's like 1 cheese every like 30 runs. And mind you, I'm luck farming specs. Like I have 2 luck units. Specs runs. So it's like, what the fuck?
I want to talk about his equipment, because I think this is the. Is there any other unit with the same layout for equipment like him and Satsuki?
Yeah, I could pull it out right now. Hold on. There was actually somebody on Reddit. I'll pull out his name in a minute. Pretty much he made a spreadsheet with all like the units that have like max MLB, and pretty much has like the list in terms of like what slots they have, and he even color coded it on Excel. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
good work from the community.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pull it out shortly. So.
Okay. Because if I remember correctly, him and Satsuki are the only ones with that kind of loadout, unless I'm not thinking of any other unit. Rodeo doesn't have it.
Satsuki. Okay, so Roy has the exact same loadout in terms of equipment. His tack, then it's heal. Yeah, tack, Femoris Crest, and then the defense item, Femoris Gauntlet. So they have the exact same equipment loadout.
No, I'm talking about the exact same.
Satsuki has 5-star physical attack, 5-star defense, and
4-star heal.
4-star heal. Yeah,
not
the same as Gilliam.
So I'm talking about they have the same slots, but like, do they? I think it's Gilliam and Satsuki that only share the same 5-star physical, 5-star defense, and 4-star heal.
No. Gilliam only has a 4-star.
Yeah, Gilliam has 4-star defense. And
so that's where they differ.
5-star heal. Yeah.
They flip flop.
I flip flop.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's any other units that are like exactly the same.
Roy.
Yeah,
Roy has 5-5-4.
Yeah.
5-5-4.
He has 5-star physical, 5-star defense, 5-star heal, 4-star defense.
All right. I pulled it out, by the way. It's on stream.
I can't wait for Roy to come back. I hope Roy comes back next week because.
So something for Hero Fest, something other people and me theory crafted was like, we'll get the previous 2 heroes that were in the last Hero Fest, but we won't get the other 2, just to keep it fresh.
What, for Hero Fest? No.
Yeah.
Like, the way Hero Fest works is we'll keep getting the same Hero Fest units will be in there until 15 Hero Fest units.
Oh, it's gonna be 15 Hero Fest units.
Yeah, but it'll
Okay.
and then it'll become like that's why Hiri and somebody else, Max Roy, got higher luck, because they were the only two, so you had a high probability of pulling them.
Okay.
22, so they cost a few hundred. Versus right now, like the last one, Rayon cost probably a couple thousand to get, you know.
Yeah. So I just want to note one thing. Pretty much. So if everyone's looking at the spreadsheet that I have right now,
Yeah.
so what I'm thinking of doing is shout outs to hold on
Text.
to Tex who actually did this, and now granted he did update. The last update that he did on this was the 30th of March. So probably what I'm gonna be doing, probably like internally next week, is probably get in contact with him, get the original Excel spreadsheet that he actually put on, and then continue on moving forward in terms of updating every single unit that comes out in terms of the banner. So that could probably be something that a lot of people might actually be using for in preparation towards like new events where new items come out, and seeing, hey, what's the BIS for every single unit. BIS, if anyone doesn't know, that's best in slot. So it's sort of situational in terms of like whether or not should this item go, so on and so forth. There's also like a couple of 5 slots that a lot of people haven't seen before. Like for example, Ash Toto and Leon. Like personally, I have not seen any of those units. Probably maybe once or twice. There was actually a streamer, I forgot his name, Rip, but he actually used Leon on a couple of kill runs, and it actually went pretty well. So those are like kind of units that are kind of like situational, and I guess a lot of people don't know about it yet. I don't know how different it is where it is in terms of like global versus Japan, but something that Knight brought up a little bit earlier on the stream was pretty much like a lot of people kind of tend to forget these units because like a lot of people just say, oh, they're not meta, like, oh, it's only just basically all kill units, and a lot of people don't use like some of like the normal summons that normally like whatever they have in terms of the rankings. But overall, personally, it all depends on the items that you have. And I don't think people should be biased in terms of, hey, you know what? For example, I'll take a unit here. Somebody mentioned it on the stream earlier today. Dargion. Everybody said, oh, he's only mid tier. Okay. Great. He's 5-3 and 2. 5-3 attack and 2 magic. But if you have the necessary equips in terms of, like, for example, what's that? LDH, like Lesser Demon Heart, for example, right? You equip it on a certain type of unit, it would actually make the difference in terms of, hey, you can run this content with this certain unit, whether or not if they're meta or not, or if they're like high top tier or high to mid tier on the forums. So that should be something that pretty much people should take a look into. So
that was something I was trying to stress in my video today. Was like, there's meta.
See you, Knight. Thanks for joining, man. Sorry about that.
You're good. But like that's something I was trying to stress is like, there's meta units, right? And I was like trying to tell people like, you don't need the meta units to be good in the game. Like right now, global is not a art-based meta, right? It's all about equipment. So like when you're building a team, you should look at your equipment slots, and you're like, what do you need? You got to understand the mechanics of the game, understand what equipment you need to do certain things. Be like, okay, this is how I'm going to set up my team. It just so happens that my team is meta in quotation marks because it's the equipment slots I wanted, like 4 or 5 3-star support, and then a bunch of 5-star physical attacks and a 5-star magical. Like, oh well. but like that's what it's about. Like it's all about equipment. Like literally everything in the game right now can basically be cleared with Regracia. You don't need a Terra. You could use any of the crit up ones because you only need like 50 or 75% chance crit, and then damage multiplier support, and you're good. The only thing that can't be cleared with that like type of setup is 415. 415, we either need to have whatever meta units that Barrett's using right now, his setup, and understand how to use your equips and units, or you need to have defense and be able to art cancel. Like,
right.
There's no such thing as a meta unit right now. It's like I'm literally about to clear 415. Like, I get really close, like today with Fina, Valhalla, Eden, and Reyes.
Mm-hmm.
I got really close, and I got really close again with Sophie Gannon, Valhalla, Reyes today, like to beating 415. So I was like, I'm trying to prove to people it's not about units. It's all about your equips.
Well, I think at the end of the day, for like a new player, I think it's easier to understand units. That's why we have like recommended units, the ones you want to get, but you don't really have to.
Yeah.
Like Ragna, Sar, Ryuk, Mako. I hate that shit when I see it on the Discord. It wouldn't say, you don't have Mako, throw a count away, when they have perfectly good units.
That's something we've been talking about lately, like internally, is like making sure that people like us veterans aren't going around and just saying, hey, you don't have this unit, your account's trash. And like even though like 90% of the time, like a lot of us are joking when we say it, but we forget that newer players are taking us seriously.
Truly.
Like I remember there was a newer player who literally rewrote his account to have Elfala and Soliel because we told him Elfala and Soliel were OP.
You guys are evil people. Oh my
I know,
god.
I'm gonna stop doing it because people believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something you mentioned, Borry, on Sunday. Like, there was a couple of trolls, I think, that was on, Discord, on the Grand Summers Discord, and then, like, a couple of the new players just suggested, like, a couple of units that if they should reroll or not, and they're like, no, that, like, the account is just garbage, and pretty much they just, like, got frustrated, and, decided to just reroll again, so... That should be something and that's kind of adds on to what I was trying to say. I think I said it yesterday. No, not yesterday, Monday when we were doing the LDH run. Like, a lot of people should take note in terms of who to talk to and where to get their information from. And rather than, just asking randomly in terms of, oh, hey, you know what, should I have this unit or should I just follow the unit's tier list, the ones that I posted just now. It shouldn't be set in stone in terms of like what you want to like have as an account. Like one of the things that I remember, Borry, you mentioned that you mentioned that Regulus and Fina, for example, I think correct me if I'm wrong, but like Regulus and Fina over there in Japan, like Regulus is like fucking overpowered as shit, like especially when he gets his awakening. So, but like right now, a lot of people are like, oh, Regulus is it's okay. I mean, like right now, currently he's listed as like he's 6.5 right now in terms of his unit ranking.
He's like mid tier.
Yeah, because people don't understand how good he is when he's not awake.
Yeah. So.
I've been trying to get him to update it because he's on my literally. I'm almost beating Varric sometimes on I think Snowy on the leaderboards and stuff using Regulus. And every time I share my team, people are like, "Oh, you can't clear any content with that team." And it's like, I'm on the leaderboards on everything with Regulus. I don't use Terra, right? I'm using damage multipliers with Regulus. So Regulus is crit. Yeah, he's 50% crit, but he also is a damage dealer. So he hits so much that that's the reason he's good when he's making 100% and he has so much
damage output, raw damage.
He hits so many times and each crit ignores defense. So I
think for a lot of units, a lot of certain Regulus is a big thing. I feel like Regulus should be a little higher on the tier list just for the fact of what he can do with his kit if done correctly. Like Borry's clearing. Borry's clearing. It's 5-5-4. It's fucking insane. You have one physical, one 5-star magical. You pretty much are running like, let's say, let's go back in the old days. Like in the first month, you're running a 5-star bleak on a unit plus summon skeleton wing that you probably have enhanced already. You know how insane that is?
Yeah.
And the fact that he has 50% crit is just even more to add on to that.
Like right now, like when I'm running with him, I'm running Rose Garden, both mirror weapons, right? The Rose Garden, the ornament, whatever it's called, and then I'm running
breastplate
or whatever the status ailment here, because like in my opinion, getting like Rose Garden hits for I forget the absurd number it hits for, because it hits a few times, then it applies the burn effect, and then you wait a second for the blur. 5 seconds for the burn to go away, and you pop your ornament, and the ornament does the same thing. Like the ornament actually blasts forward and hits like 3 or 4 times or something like that, and does its max damage. So when it crits, it's just nuts. And like, or for newer players, which I was trying to stress in my video, like when I was showing like team comps and stuff, was you can put a stun bow on him. You can put both. You can put 2 different like status elements on him. You can put a freeze and a stun bow on him, like the art cancel people.
Oh my god!
Like I really want him to be ranked high. The only reason he isn't is because like people just aren't using him, and they don't think plus he's easy to max limit break too, because you can get him out of house.
Yeah.
Well, he was. Now he's not.
He was. Maybe nowadays it's not so much. It's a lot of 50-50. But yeah, there's a lot of misconception of units, and a lot of units are ranked higher than they should be, in my opinion. Like, let's put, who should I put on the spotlight? Arrows Dea, I guess, because all he does is damage. Yeah, he does raw damage, but generally in PvE, you're not really trying to do like all raw damage, unless you're nuking.
The reason he's like applied so hard is because during break he damage increase, damage and attack damage. That's a lot.
But his health pool is really small. I think he has the lowest defense of all units as well.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, for like endgame meta, you break the boss pretty much instantly. So
yeah, but like, and endgame is very very weird, and especially now.
You can like, that's why, like, I understand, like, we're gonna edit our list and stuff here soon. Like that's the next thing. We just finished the fact, and I was actually gonna read something from that. But we're gonna update the tier list. We're gonna be way stricter on how we're grading units. We're gonna fix some of the units that are ranked lower, aren't meta, and then we're gonna give like more useful team comps like that in it. Because right now it is just that. It's just like these units are ranked 10. They shouldn't be ranked 10. Like they really shouldn't. Nothing should be ranked 10 on global. Like
yeah.
I don't understand why people are ranking them. But and the other thing too, like what we were talking about earlier, like when we got on this, like about Regulus, like when people are re-rolling accounts, right? Like I understand, like it's a gacha game and people re-roll their accounts. If you're gonna play the game long term, just build your account up. Like if you look at like the video I posted a little while ago, like I didn't have any units when I started this account. Like I had Aristia and Valhalla were like the only 2 decent units I had, and I don't even use them now. But like I was using Clyde and the other starter in my team comp because I didn't have anything. I just built my team up and just make sure I save lucky, so my account's where it's at now.
Yeah.
But like people think it's like so important to re-roll to get this one meta unit that's only meta. I don't know. Week.
I guess we're gonna end it here with that because Nightwolf left. And finally moved to AFK. AFK. We went longer than planned for. This is 15 minutes.
But
this is straight up 15 minutes.
Yeah. Before we end it though, because I think Nightwolf's still here. Yeah.
No, he got moved to AFK.
No, he said he was gonna keep the stream on for like another 20. So
okay. So he's recording the stream then.
Yeah. So
okay.
So just to reiterate what Borry was saying, I guess we could go into this a little bit more detail probably the next time we go on. It's pretty much like, you know, a lot of people shouldn't base upon units that you see on the forums and just try to make sure, like, it's a good guideline to follow, like what currently are like very good units, because a lot of people just go by that and just say, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna get Ragna, for example, Valhalla, and all like at least two out of the units, the 5-star units that you want to get. So I think what we should do as a community, and including what we do, like when we go over this, or when we're starting going over this rather, is try to give suggestions in terms of, what would be considered to be sleeper picks in terms of units. Like I mentioned, like Regulus, for example. I think like Abaddon, for example, and Leon would be my two sleepers. Because even though I've not experienced neither of those two, probably like I said before, once or twice with Leon, but I still think that they're pretty doable units that a lot of people just kind of like sleep on, and then they don't want to roll it because like Corey just posted, like he says like, the only sad thing is like max limit breaking all these units is hard if you're not a whale, but I would use everything if they were all max limit broken. Like,
I was just getting ready to like say that. Like, I was waiting for you to finish your thing. Like what he said. Like the thing is like, I'm a free to play account, right? I'm up to 9 or 10 max limit broken units, not including the invasion units, so the free units that we get.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And it's literally all from login bonuses that we've gotten. Now we got the Facebook share. We're almost to a limit break stone. And then alg farming. Like I understand I got super lucky at the beginning and got Regulus and Fina on my first 2 alg summons, so I haven't done an alg summon since. But as a free to play player, like, and as a whale too, like, you don't build Rome in a day, right? Like, your account's meant to progress. Like, you're not gonna jump into the game, roll an account, and have like god tier stuff and be like set. It's gonna take you a while. Like, mine's just now, like, I'm able to compete with all the whales and stuff because I've been playing for a while. So like, as a free to play player, you can still farm max limit breakstone units and stuff, and don't have to worry about like, hey, like, you just gotta know which ones you want to work on, and like know your team comp and research and ask questions if you don't understand the game. That way you know what you should focus on. And like, in my opinion, as a free to play player, the first things you should max limit break if you get them are Regulus and Fina, because they're going to be overpowered as shit later on.
True, very true.
Like, to elaborate on that. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but the reason people, I'm gonna put this on like why people say these units are better than used units is because generally our meta at the moment doesn't really use units like Leon, Satsuki, Arth, Clyde, Regulus, Fina. Our meta is very like damage oriented. There's not much. You want a healer and damage. That's all you want in our meta right now. So these units, a lot of these units are very sleeper units, in my opinion.
The reason Abaddon and Leon aren't used right is because they do damage mitigation, and Durin too. Damage mitigation, not way lacking damage, right? Like, yeah, they have decent, well, I guess Durin does, decent equip slots and stuff, but like, because they do damage mitigation, a lot of people, like, the reason people play the game is, for one, they want to have the fastest, most efficient way to clear content. They want to be able to farm things the fastest, most efficient way, right? And like, unfortunately, Leon, Abaddon, units like that don't allow you to do that. So like, because like, could you imagine a team like Abaddon, Leon, Durin, Issei or something?
Yeah, it would take a good while. It'll take you a hot minute.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've watched somebody, a friend of mine, who plays the game too. He cleared 415. He's in Eden, Valhalla, Abaddon, and what's the other fucking unit he used? He's something else that was complete crap. Issei. I'm not Issei.
Is it
Fina?
Fina, okay.
Fina. Because that way he would always have Eden's bubble up, and he would use Fina's art to give the stun resistance, so Brad can't paralyze him. It took him 18 minutes or something like that to beat it, but he beat it, and he got his lost arms. So, like,
I was gonna elaborate on what you were saying, Borry. Like, a lot of people, the reason being that a lot of people just get frustrated over gacha games, and this is like based on a psychological standpoint, is because they have that mentality of wanting to have, that win mentality, that they want to like win immediately, win now. And that's where like most of whales come in. Like basically it's like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to throw in like $500, for example, or any X amount of money, and pretty much just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to pull as much as I can on X banner, right? Get those units and pretty much just, get it over to like 100 luck. So either they guarantee themselves getting a room, whether if it's not going to be like one of those free luck units that you actually get, like Gillian, Ganon, or Sophie, and just get like an automatic room. So pretty much, unless you're like AFK or something, like they won't get kicked at all. Number 2 would also be like they'll be able to control arena pretty much every single time. Now, personally, from what I've seen in the arena system, like I don't arena that much. Like I neglect arena, like pretty much every single day. And I know I should be focusing on a little bit more, but for the most part, I think arena should be improved, not only in terms of the rewards, but how much, like how many times like you like the point system, like because like I think the point system in arena in terms of like who you face is total bogus and rigged. And
the matchmaking is just completely atrocious, and part of that's because there's no separate tiers in Masters. It's just point based, so you have like 1,000 or 2,000 people in the pool at one time. So you're like, the game randomly pulls from that, and it's usually they try to pull you with people who are online too. So it's like you get like these really crappy ones.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't want to stray too off topic, but going back to the mentality standpoint, pretty much like a lot of people just want to have that win now mentality in terms of, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna throw them out this amount of money and just make sure that I get these amount of units, and that's pretty much it. And that sets a little bit of the standard in terms of of having this forum and having this so-and-so tier list, because a lot of people pull these units without having the correct amount of knowledge saying, hey, you know what? I think this unit's good because of so-and-so, not because you spent like $1,000 on just pretty much just getting that unit and just saying, hey, you know what? I have max equip and everything. Wow, it's so OP. And that goes back towards, hey, you know what? Equips matter instead of units. I don't want to say that it's going to be like, 80-20. I would say probably maybe 60-40 range in terms of having equips more in terms like having
of
units. Yeah.
Well, it's going to eventually become, like right now it's equipment spam, right? Like you should be able to clear 90% of the content in the game with just your first equipment launch, right? Well, later on it's going to become what we classify as art spam, because it's all going to be about, because the meta units later on in the game are like literally,
art spam.
Yeah, the reason Fenn's so good is because he's 5'4", 5-star physical, 5-star support, 4-star support. So you can put, double art spam on him. So you can put a lesser demon and Kaon.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah, and then he gives art gen on his true art stuff. But
holy shit!
Like right now, like that's all it is. It's equipment, and like in my opinion, right? Like if you're gonna play a gacha game as a free-to-play player, you're one of three types of players, right? You're a free-to-play player. You're somebody who throws a few dollars at the game a month, or you're a whale who throws a shit ton of money at the game and just gets everything. Right? If you're a whale, okay, you're gonna have everything. You can do the meta shit. If you're somebody who throws a little bit of the money at the game and a free-to-play player, you're not gonna have everything in the game, right? So you gotta know how to like work something and like ask around or build the knowledge up yourself and research, like most of us did, and understand how the whole game mechanics work, so you understand what to work on. And that's the reason like my account's so good now, is because I understand like what I need to work on. And even if I didn't play as much as I played, like I would still know like, hey, should I really, like honestly, like the kill a kill thing, right? I honestly probably wouldn't have grinded anything. Like if I didn't want to collect everything, like whatever. Okay, 4-star Knuckles that has 12-second cooldown, whatever. 4-star weapon. It's not like I really matters. Like you hardly use them, but you know,
Yeah.
but like it's just making sure that you understand like not getting burnt out and understand what's good, so that way you know where to dedicate your most time at. And as a beginner player, like starting out, you should focus on the story. Like no matter what you roll, as long as you roll like 2 5-stars that are mid tier to high tier, and not low tier, because the low tier one's tier right now. You'll be fine. And then like you play the game, you get your free gems, and then you save up for Hero Fest. Because I think as a free to play player, Hero Fest is the best time to roll, because like everything else goes into Alch Summon and such, and you get all your equipment from events. So you shouldn't waste any of your gems on equipment. Maybe right now the Kill banner, do like 1 or 2 multis because it's a guaranteed 5-star.
Them scissor blades.
Yeah, if you can get them, if you're lucky. I did
already
before,
have,
just saying I was not lucky. But
Okay.
and
I just rolled.
Kuro's mic is loud as fuck.
hey, fucking thing's broken. But like as a free to play player, like right after you finish the story, you should just be farming for Gracias. Like you should get yourself 3 or 4 Gracias.
Yeah, I agree.
Kuro,
Yeah.
like no disrespect, man, you're lagging up a storm, so we can't really hear you.
I had to mute him a bit, so
Okay.
that way it wouldn't just interfere. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I tossed him
Sorry
back into
about
AFK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Anyways, yeah, I think this is a good stopping point now. I know there was a couple people who just joined, but I guess they left. But there's a lot of things I want to talk about now that we kind of broadened out the scope in terms of what are some things that a lot of people can actually voice their opinion on, and hopefully like this gets out there too in terms of the developers. And I'm probably going to do my own little research a bit in terms of getting more and more involved with the community, because I know I've been kind of like, I guess, a lurker sorts in terms of like the like from browsing around the website and everything. But like I said, for like those people who actually like know me, and like I put so much effort in terms of what I see from the community. So if I see like the community is actually interested in actually like having this content up for for people that actually don't know what the fuck they're like what to do in a gacha game, and not only this game, like this is like in general too. Yeah, because like this principle follows like to pretty much like any other games that you play, like that kind of has like that amount of probability that you need in order to pull something. Like that principle just follows all through. Yeah, like I played Brave Frontier for like 3 years, and pretty much it's like, you know what, like all I did was just throw in money and just became a whale and literally just started pulling shit. That's it. Like I had like I didn't have any strategy whatsoever. Like my strategy was like, hey, I have a big bank account, boom, I'll just toss money in. Like no, but but like right now, this was like me when I was like a hot little college little shithead. No offense to people who go to college, but like pretty much like I thought I was like hot shit because like what, I was like, hey, I'm gonna but like right now, like I'm in the point of my age right now that pretty much is like, what, I actually need to think this through, and I want other people to learn from my mistakes and not make sure that like anybody else who follows suit pretty much has that, oh, what, this guy, even though he was a dumbass, feel free to call me that, but actually has that blueprint saying, hey, you know what, I'm not going to do the same mistake he did. And it's also a good guidance and a good learning lesson for people to actually say, hey, you know what, I'm not going to be doing this. And it's actually very informative that we're doing this, because like I want to educate, or I want you guys to educate the community in terms of hey, you know what, maybe I don't have a voice on, but these guys know what the fuck they're talking about. So I want to like post this information so that way, the devs are going to be like, oh, hey, you know what? These guys actually have a point on, um, what they're talking about. And this doesn't only go for my stream. I mean, like for example, Oxy, you stream. I don't know if you'll be streaming Borry anytime soon, but you do put up YouTube videos. I know Letho, Prosecutor, Nightwolf, yep. So, I mean, if we can just collab together and basically just, talk about, what should be done in terms of the game moving forward, then I think it would be a very healthy and productive relationship in terms of, you don't have to spend, a lot of money in terms of a gacha game. And I think for the most part, if that could be heard, then it would probably promote like a lot of free-to-play players to actually play the game. Now, granted, this is not going to be like, hey, you know what? Because obviously, this game needs to make money, and I know a lot of people are kind of stingy in terms of, trying to throw like a lot of money in terms of the game. But I feel like with all this new information that people have in their hands, then pretty much be like, hey, you know what? I'll be smart with my money and probably maybe toss like maybe $10-15 each. Like, I'll be honest, like I toss like $15 every time like a new pack comes out on Grand Summoners. Like those like free pots that I get, well, I'm not gonna say free, but those pots that you get like for $7.99 and 99 cents, like I would get those.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, it is.
Like, good deal. That's something like people got to think about too. Like, I think honestly, like you have more fun playing games like this when you're free to play or spending very little money, because when you're spending very little money or free to play, like you feel more like accomplished the stuff you have and like that you've earned because you've built your account up, you've learned how to play versus just throwing your wallet at it, and then like when you throw your wallet at it and you don't get something, then you just get pissed off at the game because you don't get something because you spent money on it. But like knowing like what to spend money on, like you said, pots and stuff. Like, yeah, if I had the money, I'd be buying pots all the time. Like, whenever I see those up, which annoys me because there's one that's like 20 pots or something like that on my page, and I can't buy it.
Oh my god! So, do you guys agree this is a good point? Good place to end. This went over what I expected. I just expected 20 minutes and that's it.
Well,
we're like an hour and 8 minutes.
I actually thank Borry a bit because he kind of elaborated a little bit in terms of like what units should actually, you should actually go. And then I just went off a tangent about like the psychology of gacha games. So yeah, I know a lot of people kind of get like bored of it because for the most part they're like, oh, we're here for GS content only and all that. But like some of these principles. Yeah, but like some of these principles actually apply, and and if a lot of people want to stick around in this game, moving forward, I think a lot of people should be like thinking about that. I mean, I'm not here to play the Dalai Lama. Like, if you want to like fucking spend, then go right ahead. But I'm just here.
Yeah, support my game.
But like, if you want to actually like think about like long term in terms of, hey, you know what? I want this to like last as long as Brave Frontiers lasted. And even though Brave Frontier 2 came out in Japan, a lot of people still play Brave Frontier, like the original. And, there's still same units that still come out. And a lot of people just enjoy the game because, for the most part, not only they update their content, but they update, for the most part, some of the units. Now, granted, that game does have its, negatives, which I'll probably go over a little. Yeah. But I'll probably dive in a little bit detail on how Grand Summoners can actually improve on another podcast. But, yeah, for the most part, yeah. I mean, these were all great talking points, and I think a lot of people should like just take a look into that. So
clearly. Now, I guess we should end it here because we're going off on a bit of a tangent because we just decided to go over the rundown of what we're getting.
Yeah,
but these are great talking points we can pick up later. Hopefully, going back to the community enjoys this type of content. I think I had, well, in my head, I always thought that I think I did enough for the community. I set up the Twitch. I started posting videos. People followed. and want to post videos, that's great. But I feel like I'm gonna get back into the community a bit more.
Yeah.
But clearly, there's more to talk about, and clearly, people have to voice their opinion. A lot of misconceptions, a lot of other things, psychology of gotcha games. But we'll end it here for next time.
All right. Also, I'm gonna be stopping the stream right now since it's under maintenance. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, thank you very much, everyone who's actually on the stream, still listening and still alive. For the most part, I'm gonna be a Grand Summoner streamer. Moving on forward, I'll try to be a little bit more involved with the community. I know for the most part, no dogs, they're not sending nudes. Yeah. So yeah. For the most part, I know I just started streaming, but I'm gonna get a little bit more integrated into Twitch, and by this weekend, I should have everything uploaded and running. So please give me a follow if you haven't already, and try to share it with a lot of people if if they play this game. And also, I do stream League, but it's going to be less and less since I have a couple of side projects going on. So hit that follow, and pretty much be setting up a subscribe button, but that should be maybe a little bit more into the future. So because I really want this stream to go a little bit more on the positive note in terms of, hey, you know what, more of a friendly community and moving on forward. All right, so I'm going to be signing out right now, and thanks a lot for the stream.